Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Saturday, guys. Want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as season. I got a word for you. Tap in. Want to talk to you guys about 20 things that can be indications that God is about to level you up. Now, I want to say really quickly too, right? Leveling up doesn't mean, I think some people tend to think materialistic things are cars and this and this and this, right? I mean, all that stuff is nice, I'm guessing, but God can level you up in ways such as spiritual wisdom, knowledge. Like those are the areas you really want to be leveled up, because once you get leveled up on those areas, then He gives you the wisdom and the insight how to get the things that you're speaking about and the tangible. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, everybody like what they like, right? So, if that's your thing, if you like materialistic things, fine, but there are so much more ways that God can level you up to get those things versus you thinking God is coming and dropping you off a key to a Bentley, right? Which is my dream car. Okay, so let's talk about 20 things. Knowing me, some things are going to ping in my spirit and I might just add them in. But right now, I'm not even going to read numbers because I know me. Number one, He will test you. You will be tested. You will be tested. So whatever that area of struggle is for you, we all have our areas, right? But it's that area that God has been working on with you for so long, right? And he's testing you, but the tests are coming more and more. They're almost like back to back. Each time you fail one, boom, another test. Boom, you fail it again, another test. And you know without a doubt it's a test because it keeps coming and you're like, I got to pass this thing. But you got to literally ask God, please give me strength in this area. So you will be tested before elevation. The next one, start hearing from God in different ways. For me, it has always, since I was very young, that spiritual nudge, that internal prompting. You just know. And it's not even more so less compassion, because I'm a very compassionate person. So certain things move me from compassion, but it's internal, and it's not like the compassion, empathy feel when you're feeling sorry for someone, right? I can discern when that's me versus just a nudging in my spirit that God needs me to say, do, etc., etc. But now it's like, now that I'm starting to understand the Bible more and more, thanks to Pastor R.C. Blakes, now that I'm starting to understand the Bible more and more, I'm getting so much insight, right? Every now and then I'll get the audible voice. Now I have to be honest. The number one source still for me is just spiritual downloads. There's something that comes from the spiritual realm. It hits my spirit. There's a nudging, and everything else is still confirmation. So even when I read certain scriptures in the Bible, right, and I'm like, oh my goodness. But if I'm honest, it's just confirming something that I initially felt in my spirit. So we all hear from God differently, but you will start to hear from God in different directions. You may start to hear it from certain songs or certain this or certain this. So it's different. It's going to start pinging off in different directions. And I'm sure for different reasons, next one, number 3, he's going to require you to start being better at communication, better at listening. Right? Some people listen, but you have to listen to understand. That takes intentionality a lot of the times, because sometimes you just want to respond right before you even really listen and hear what the other person is saying. So you're going to start being convicted to start communicating better and start to close your mouth and start listening more than you're doing talking. Next one, I think it's number 4. Your discernment game will increase, honey. Your discernment game will increase. I've always had a gift of discernment, thank God. But I know some people feel they don't have that. Please pray for discernment, because God wants to give you discernment. It will keep you and protect you from so many different things. Next one. New attacks from people. There's like random people that you don't even know. Like you would expect, I guess, attacks to come from people who like maybe know you or I don't know, you could be getting on their nerve because they know you. But it's like random strangers. People will start to attack you from different ways. I mean, it can come through your email, through your social media, and then they're hitting you with certain things like, what are you even talking about? Like, you are messaging me about this, and I'm not even thinking about this, what you're thinking about. Like, you what are you talking about? But random people will start to message you. And truth be told, sometimes, right, it seems like these people are coming through as an attack, and that is the agenda for the enemy and for the person they think they're attacking you. But sometimes God will use those people to confirm how close you are. Because it's like, I wasn't even thinking about this for 6 months. And now here you're randomly scrolling through my videos, I guess. And now you message me about something. And I'm like, oh, okay, God. So I guess you're telling me, to get prepared, because this person is messaging me about something I totally forgot about. So get prepared to get attacked from different people. Honey, they're going to tell you you can't love God because you show too much legs. Honey, you're going to see these legs, point blank, period. Okay, next one. I think number... See, this is why I don't even want to count, because I've already lost count. Next one. You're going to be required to move certain sins. Required to move sins, right? But then there are certain sins that, excuse me, God's going to be pressing conviction upon that particular sin. Excuse me, guys, I'm still trying to get over this cold. All sins need to go, right? But we're human. It is what it is, right? Let's keep it real here. But there are certain sins that it seems like God is going to be highlighting. He's going to be pressing upon certain sins for whatever reason, but it's that particular one, and you know what that thing is. All right, next one. You will be thrown. You will be thrown into a wilderness, honey. You will be thrown into a wilderness right before elevation, for different reasons, of course. Is one reason. I know for a fact, I've experienced this in the past. God will throw you in the wilderness to humble you. He'll strip you. He'll humble you because he knows he's about to bless you abundantly in certain areas. And if he doesn't humble you, then you won't respect the blessings accordingly. So it's almost like, because you're coming out of a season that humbled you, anything that God brings to you, you're going to be grateful and you're going to protect it and appreciate it, et cetera, because of that season and the wilderness that humbled you. Next thing is, you will start to receive a confidence like never before. And this is why I tell you guys too, who are still, because I get so many emails in regards to people who are struggling with confidence and self-esteem. Just keep working on you. Keep whatever God is pressing upon you to do. Just be obedient to your convictions, because before certain doors open, God, first of all, he needs you to be confident, right? He needs you to be confident. He needs you to be bold and fearless. So why wouldn't he give that grace to you? He wants to. But don't beat yourself up about not just being confident overnight, right? You're still going through a transformation process, which many times is you unlearning all the other stuff that had been placed upon you, let it be through childhood trauma, bullying, et cetera. But trust me, before he opens the door, before he elevates you, you're going to get a boom. There's going to be a grace of confidence, honey. Ain't nobody can touch you. Period. Beyonce can be standing next to you and you're like, chick, you bad, but I'm good, right? There's going to be a boldness that comes upon you because he knows wherever he's sending you, whatever door is going to open, you got to be confident within that area. The next thing, I can't even, more patience, more patience, more fruits of the spirit, more gentleness, kindness, all that good stuff, whatever. I'm laughing, honey, because I promise you, again, I'm so much better when it comes to patience, but he's going to require you to be more patient as well as develop the fruits of the spirit. So that's why you feel like you're, and it really starts off like you're being a wuss. It's like, I'm not about to sit here and accept that. I'm about to respond. Because in the beginning, you really feel like people are trying to like play with you all kind of way. But then the more you level up, you realize you really got the upper hand when you're not saying anything. That's not the same as letting people run over you, right? Because there's a difference, right? You try me a certain kind of way, I'm not even going to respond. I'm just going to leave. But I'm speaking more so less about that clapping back and that always having to say something, that going back and forth. Sometimes you will learn that you just closing your mouth will give you the upper hand. And truth be told, it will convict the other person many times, and they have to then come back and apologize or try to be nice to you, because many people won't apologize. The next thing is your convictions will increase. Like, you couldn't get away with certain things, and you might get convicted every blue moon. Now, everything you do, it's like, I mean, you get convicted every 2 minutes. And it's like, oh my goodness, how do you even see that? So your convictions will constantly increase. I mean, back to back. You will find yourself repenting. And and the key is to not do it again. But listen, we're human, we fall short. But you will constantly get convicted. Next thing, I think I'm going on number 10. Massive attacks. Massive attacks that can come in the form of you losing loved ones, even losing a job, going through a divorce that you didn't see that thing coming. Like, I'm talking about those attacks that will literally just knock you off of your feet. Like, seriously. Massive attacks. The key is, again, grieve properly, but you can't stay there. That is really the trick of the enemy, right? He takes you through the massive attacks because some attacks knock you to the ground. But if you stay to the ground, then you never get back up and continue on the journey. Next thing, he will start to definitely transform your mind. The things that you may have been taught in childhood, or just maybe things you learned or developed on your own, or you had a certain mindset that it's like my way or the highway, or this and that, right? He transformed your mind. You start to see yourself as, even if you feel like God has blessed you with wisdom, you have enough knowledge to know that you need to be teachable, right? You have enough knowledge to understand that when you're having conversation with men, and then they're expressing certain things about women, and vice versa. We do it back and forth, but whatever. But you now can listen, where before it's like nobody gonna tell me what to do, and all this other nonsense, right? Now you are willing to listen because you've learned that your way is not always the right way, obviously, right? Nobody have it all together. Some of the most wisest individuals, the most wise individuals, or the people who are more spiritually inclined, these are really the most humble, teachable people. So you will start to allow God to transform you without putting up a fight. Next thing, your reach will start to grow. You'll start to see volume and whatever you're currently doing now. Like for me, it's YouTube, as well as the individuals who I run into on a daily basis, right? You will start to really see that your reach with purpose and calling will increase. Is always something for you to do throughout the day. It's always something. Somebody sees something in you. Somebody needs a word. Somebody, whatever. But your reach will grow. The next thing, he will increase you spiritually insights. That's what I was saying at the beginning of the video. Really, that's what you want. You want to be increased in those areas because, that's the area that's going to get you what you really want. So when you have knowledge and wisdom and insights, things like that. But you will really be increased in the area of your insights. Things that you have been waiting on, or things that you have been stewarding, et cetera, you will start to get more and more insights. Almost to the point, it's like, how did I even miss that 2 years ago? I didn't even see that 2 years ago. But now I see it clear as day. I see what I have to war against. I see what it really is. Next thing, He will start to introduce you to more elevated people who are more spiritually inclined than yourself, people who may have already reached certain levels that you want to attain. So you will start to meet people along your path. This is too why I say too. Somebody asked, speaking of this, one of you guys asked me, where would I suggest? She just want a rich man, honey, right? It ain't even so much about, a godly man, etc., honey, right? She just want a rich man. Where can she go to meet a rich man? All right, sis, listen, I'm not gonna knock you. It is what it is. I just give me the godly man any day over the rich man, because if he's a godly man, honey, he gonna have wisdom and insights to get rich. We gonna do that together, period. But most importantly, because he knows God, if he fears God, then I know he have to submit to God, and so he gotta deal with me a certain kind of way, right? But in regards to your rich man, I want to include that into other places where you can network and get out of your comfort zone, right? I think sometimes, especially in our community, we want to tend to think that we shouldn't be certain places. I'm going to go where I want to go. I'm going to live. In fact, that is my lifestyle. I'm going to live where I want to live, and I'm going to be respected. Point blank, period. You're not going to tell me where I can live or where I can go, and because nobody there looks like, child, please, you're going to get this chocolate, and you're going to respect this chocolate, period. Okay. So, respectfully. Respectfully. But increase your, okay, I would suggest, right, getting out of your comfort zone. Start visiting restaurants that are more upper echelon, 5-star restaurant. I mean, you may not always be able to afford to do it, but go sit to a bar. I mean, yes, bar. My churchy, holy folks, right? Even if you don't drink, order some sparkling water. There's a TV or whatever's going on. You can just sit to the bar and just kind of be in your own zone. Like, honestly speaking, I don't feel like you should be going anywhere to have the intentions on meeting anyone. But if you're just going to kind of just, because you want to kind of just, start expanding your mindset and all that good stuff, these people will literally gravitate towards you. But taking yourself out to a nice restaurant, again, if you can't afford it, just sit to the bar. Same thing with hotels. Many of the hotels have those nice 5-star, find you a good hotel now, a nice 5-star, even a 4-star hotel that have a nice bar area, like the lounge area. Because remember, a lot of people travel. They travel, so when people are considered to be high value people, or in your case, high earners, they got too much to risk. So they're not going to be moving like your average folks. So they would hang out just to like a average hotel, lounge, bar, that type of thing. Start taking golf lessons. Again, this is about expanding your, horseback riding, horse races. I can't think. I'll send you more of a list of certain, and even if you can't afford to live, okay, because see, when you live in certain areas, right, you're going to automatically be around people every day that kind of just you bump into, and before you know it, they introduce you to more people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you can't afford to kind of live more, I guess what people consider to be the suburbs or whatever, then go get your gas there. Go do your shopping there, right? Hang out there. And again, let's be clear. This is not to diss or disrespect anything in regards to the other side at all. But it is about opening and understanding that you belong anywhere. Anywhere. Absolutely anywhere. Like, I poured that into this is going left. I poured that into my niece very early on. She actually said, she's a little girl. She always said, my aunt, well, I won't say what she said, but I introduced her to certain things to let her know that she can live and she can hang out anywhere she chooses. And when you walk in the door, head up, dead in your eyes, how are you? Period. And really quickly, sis, because I know you say you kind of like have this fear of like going places that everybody don't look like you. Listen, let me tell you something. The only thing that makes it weird is when you walk in the door and you're not sure of yourself, because now it's like, oh my God, who is this? Are you coming to rob the place, right? So you're looking all fool up in your face because you're just kind of like, oh, I'm so shy, or I'm so this, I don't know if I belong here. No. Head up, shoulders back, right in your face. And when I walk by, you're going to smell this baccarat. How are you? Have your seat to the bar. Period. So you have to really be open to certain things, right? You got to just don't stay locked into your average $2 twerking Tuesday, right? Like, if that's what you do your thing, sis, twerk, seriously. But I'm just saying, right? All right, next thing. All the way off track, really quickly. Where was I? Next one. Listen. I'm going through this right now, and I'm in my feelings about it. There are certain foods that you can no longer eat. And it's not even really like a conviction, if you will. It's almost like your body just don't agree with certain things anymore. And you're like, what's going on? So in my case, it's blue crabs, right? I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, right? All we do is eat blue crabs. So literally, I would eat blue crabs probably every other day. But within the last couple of months, it's just like, I don't know, I'm getting turned off from it. And then I almost want to kind of like force myself because this is all I know. And then my daddy called me one day out the blue. I haven't even discussed the word crabs with him in I don't know how long. As soon as I said hello, he's like, baby, I meant to tell you. You know what I meant to tell you? God don't really want us eating things like shrimps and crabs. And I'm trying to act like I ain't hear him, right? But I was already getting the conviction about that the whole week prior. And I'm like, they start telling me about certain fishes that were good. Make a long story short, it may not be seafood for you. It may be dairy for you. It may be even alcohol. Yes, alcohol. My churchy, holy folks. Like you may start to develop like a allergy against certain things that you were once okay with having. But for me, it is blue crabs. I can still have my champagne. I'm being so petty right now. Okay, next thing. Not only just discipline within your flesh. I think I may have said that earlier. Well, no, actually, it's another one coming up. So I just go into that one. Definitely discipline within your flesh. That can be, let it be fasting. That can be, I don't know, dieting. That can be semen retention. There is a such thing, right? So don't start rebuking me on site. There's something called semen retention that I think some men are doing. I think it just, I don't want to get, I think I know what it is because it's kind of common. But can you actually, no, it's retention. So I guess you can't do anything at all, anything, right? So he may be calling you to Kizzy, please get it together. Semen retention. So whatever area of struggle in your flesh that you've had, he is calling you to discipline your flesh more. And what I was about to say with one of them is just not the area of flesh. You will start to be required to be disciplined more like in your finances or disciplined more in how you steward certain things. Just discipline all together. Next thing, listen, just if you're in the beginning of your process, like if you're really just starting, like you just answered the call, so wherever God is taking you, let me just tell you, please take a look around because about 90% of the people that you see now, they ain't gonna be there in a few years. Let me just tell you, He will start to remove people from your, including some family, including some friends you've known all of your life, and you just knew y'all was gonna ride this thing out till the wheels come home, till the cows come. You're gonna ride this thing out till the wheels fall off and the cows come home with this certain individual. And now you look around and it's like, where are these folks? So He will start to remove certain people from your lives. for different reasons. But some of these people truly are just not ready yet, or may never be ready to go. Where God is taking you, remember now you're being elevated. So a lot of the people who you're leaving behind, they still have a certain mindset. Again, that's no disrespect, right? You're not trying to disrespect or dishonor them because you've been there. It is what it is. It's just truth. But when you get elevated, you got to really shut up. Like, seriously, you got to really shut up and learn. You have to be teachable. They are at a certain level that you are trying to climb. So that means they themselves have been through the process as well, right? And it doesn't always mean that they get it right. I've had people get it wrong. Seriously, all the way wrong when it came down to certain things. But I just listened. I didn't tell them that. I just listened. You got to be teachable. So some of these folks, honey, you bring it up in the rooms with you. God got you in certain rooms, and child, they be mess it up for you and them because their mindsets has not evolved yet, and it's just other things. Their flesh. You went through the process. Your flesh is disciplined in certain areas. They flesh ain't not disciplined, so they're just moving all kind of way. Right, you're no longer that mentality of robbing Peter to pay Paul, or that backyard mechanic mentality. That's where they still are until they go through their process. It's almost like you want to kind of just grab people and bring them along because you know it's better where you currently are. But if they skip that process, they're not going to last. And then it's going to cause ruckus, and now you're not going to like them anymore because it's like, listen, I try to look out for you, and here you are, you acting all crazy, and da-da-da-da-da. Well, because they didn't go through the process. So this is why many times you have to leave people behind until God deals with them differently. In other seasons, God will deal with them separate from you, and then maybe you come back together at a later season. Some may never come back, and you're going to have to be okay with that. But you will lose a lot of people along the journey. And it's going to be hard at first, but then when you get to a certain level, you're going to realize it had to happen, and you're going to be thinking to yourself, how did I even keep some of these folks around? So trust the process. Next one, I think it's the last one actually. Yeah, I already heard certain foods. I think that's it, actually. I think that's it. So that's all I have for you guys. But again, it's a journey. It's called a journey. It's a journey. Literally, it's a journey to destination. So just keep the faith. Whatever you're doing, I'm sure it's hard. It's one of the hardest. This journey, right? And again, I consider myself to be one of the most determined individuals, again, who I've ever met. If I wanted this, mine, period. If God says it's mine, period. But let me just tell you, honey, this journey, this journey to destiny, meaning when you heard God called you, and again, that doesn't mean church. That just means God got a whole better life for you, right? In a whole different way. But the journey to destiny is no joke. Is no joke. That's why I always say, how bad do you want it? Most people don't make it. I just thank God personally, that I'm a visionary, because being a visionary, I can see what I'm working towards, or what I'm fighting, or whatever towards, right? Where some people, they're still confused. I will try to describe it as, these are just my words, I guess. There's something more. Your spirit is telling you there's something more. You can't even articulate what the more is. It's in your spirit. It could be a better house. It could be a better man. It could be a better woman, right? It could be purpose. It's everything. It's just not even one of those things. It's everything. It is what you deserve. It is all the hell you've been through in your life, for whatever reason that you may have went through a lot of hell within your life. It is your reward. It's almost like God is paying you back times 2, right? Because you've always been a great person, even though you got the short end of the stick. You still always just kept your heart pure, right? No matter how much it got stumped on, you kept your heart pure. Doesn't mean you're perfect, because you ain't that cute boo, right? But you kept your heart pure. So it's like God was rewarding you for that, and then he's going to give you even more overflow because of your heart posture. He knows you will help other people. You will be destiny helpers, which in turn he will have to give you overflow, because there are going to be certain people that you're going to be called to help them with destiny assignments, which is sometimes going to require some of the overflow that he gives you, whatever that overflow may be. Could be money, could be wisdom, could be knowledge, could be a spirit of serving, just whatever. But it's you're going to have it in order to be able to help other people. So I wanted to share that. You guys have a great one. It's your girl.